we're going to, I hope all of you enjoyed the story yesterday about why the fir tree doesn't lose his leaves and how come he was so upset. But it all turns out that the fir tree does a good job for animals that other trees cannot do during the winter time. They don't lose their leaves. You're going to go to read. That was the story you read. We're going to take a look at page 410.
So remember, to
oh,
get to page 410, you have to click on why fir tree keeps his leaves. You're not going to find it anywhere else. So you got to click on that story again.
Okay, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. It was very cute, very well done. Here's where we talk about rereading to make sure that we comprehend, know what's going on. And it says sometimes we just don't understand and we need to go back and read it again. One was, I don't understand why a fir tree doesn't lose his green leaves. It's explained. And it says, I read that fir tree saw the other trees' leaves changing colors and he wanted to, but he didn't quite know why. So that's what he's got to figure out as the story went along. That was the whole idea of the story, why they were brown and yellow and red. So be sure that you read it. They're going to give you clues to help you understand. Now, the theme also goes with comprehension, and it's the main message of from the author to you, the reader. And you find the theme and by what the characters say and do, how they act, maybe dialogue. Something has to be given to you to understand. This one on page 407 tells more and gives information, and he wants to be like everyone else, but Mother Nature has a different idea for him, and he'll figure it out with her as time goes on. So remember to really pay attention. We talked yesterday about myths, and myths had to do with the little flower of the bluebells. A myth is a made-up story. It's just for the fun. It explains why things are the way they are in fun. Has an important lesson and message. They can tell you a lot of great things. We have done them with how the tiger got their stripes, all kinds of different stories, but many of them dealing, as you saw, with animals. Text evidence. They have to give you some understanding from the author what he wants you to gain from the reading. And in this case, he tells you a myth usually explains the lesson at the end. The end of this story explains why the fir tree never loses his leaves. He has an important job to do that Mother Nature gave him, according to the myth. So enjoy that. Now, vocabulary. Context clues. Do not forget to read the word. Let's say you don't know the word harvest. You really didn't. Go back, read it again, look around. They're going to tell you clues to help you understand the meaning. Maybe you didn't look at it as being just harvest. We added ED. You knew that right away. So look at the words themselves. And then harvest. Farmers harvest what he had grown. Well, if he grew sunflowers or different types of vegetables, harvest means he picked them. They're going to give you clues to help you understand that. They also do here with picked and gathered. That means they already did it. You picked means you already took it off the vine. There's other words, as you notice, complained, reminded, so that you don't forget to do something. but don't ever pass words up, because when you do that, you start losing out on the meaning of what you're reading. And you might really want that story in your memory to share later on, like Miss Park shared the story today with us. So be careful. All right. And here's the writing this young boy wrote, and I thought it was cute. In your opinion, this was an opinion writing. Should Mother Nature have told fir tree his purpose right at the beginning? She made him wait. How did you think about that? And the boy says what his idea is about it. Maybe you don't agree. That's what opinions are about, and that's fine. But show it, give conclusion. Look here, use great adjectives, show linking words, and then as I said, the conclusion. Give some proof, your reasons. You can't just say, oh, she should have told them because I think it would have been nice. Well, again, that's an opinion, but that's not in the story. Go with what's in the story. All right. And if you look, even when Miss Park does our wonderful writing lesson, there's not 20 sentences, children. We're not out to get you. We're out to just have you answer it correctly and carefully. Usually, as Miss Park says, maybe 4 to 6, maybe 6 to 8, depending if they ask you for 2 reasons. But please don't ever think that you're going to have to write 20 sentences. All right? Not at this point. But what you do now, this is a very good example. Remember, opinion, how you think. Okay? I like Mother Nature myself. Here are your pages for the workbook. Is it Clytie and Apollo? And this is a cute little quick, actually, it's not even a story, it's so fast. But there are your pages that you're going to do today. And answers. Don't look in the answers until you try, because you can. Remember, simple little sentences, but they are complete. They don't have to be long to answer what we need. Okay? And this one the other one had 2 parts to it, don't forget. This one I think you'll do just fine. And it's good skills with your practicing, organizing. You know, don't rush through it. You don't have to. We don't want you to. All right. This one, for such a short little myth, it's quite nice about the sunflower. Okay. All right. That is for ELA today. And then your workbook pages, Miss Park just showed you. So that's what we're doing today. All right, we're gonna go to math. Pearson, and boys and girls, you guys are going too fast. It's not a real hard concept. I'm very proud of that for you, but you're rushing and you're making silly little mistakes on the digital quick checks. So slow down a little bit and look at the assignments before. This lesson's going to be 4-4. It's to draw a picture and write a number sentence.
Read and understand. Pat has 3 boxes. Each box has 5 marbles inside. How many marbles does Pat have in all? Let's think about it. What do you know? You know Pat has 3 boxes. You also know that he has 5 marbles in each box. What do you need to find out? You need to find out how many marbles Pat has in all. Plan. What strategy will you use to solve the problem? You can draw a picture to show how many marbles in all. The diagram shows 3 boxes with 5 marbles inside each box. Solve. You can write 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. So Pat has 15 marbles in all. Look back and check. My drawing and number sentence match the problem. My drawing shows that the total of 3 equal groups of 5 is 15. How do you know the diagram matches the number sentence? The diagram shows that 3 equal groups of 5 is 15.
It's go in the steps and go through the practice. It's real easy. I checked it out. I looked it over. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm glad to help you. We've got practice center activities in 2 places. We have enrichment. We have all kinds of wonderful things there for you. And again, you don't have to do it all at once. Just don't forget at the end the digital test for us, okay? Quick check, excuse me. All right, these are neat. And what I like about them, I think they're very fair and they stick with the lessons that we do with the frog. I like him.
And don't forget, guys, or I guess you wouldn't know this, but this is actually going to be the last unit of math. So after this, it's just going to be a lot of review. So you're not going to have normal lessons like this anymore. We might assign a couple, but after this, you guys have actually completed all of the topics. So this was the last topic. We've done 1 through 16. Oh, well, we have the last one you guys will have next week will be topic 17, which is going to be stepping up to grade 3. So it is going to look a little different. I think there's only visuals actually. So
Yeah.
Denise and I will be looking through the online version of it, and then we'll go over it with you guys next week.
Okay. Yeah, believe it or not, look how hard you do work. And don't forget your for the quick check. And some of you need to go back and do the other ones. That's okay too. All right. Next, we're moving on to science. And science today is, let's see, I'm at Tuesday, right? Explain. We're doing Unit 4, Lesson 2. This has to do with living things in habitats. We're going to go to explain today. Going to 4 and lesson 2. Don't forget the nails. Land habitats, explain. Okay. Okay. Now this doesn't have a video, I always forget. A forest is a large area of land that is covered with trees and bushes. A woodland forest has many trees that loses their leaves each fall. Some trees stay green all year. Many kinds of animals live in a woodland forest. Deer, foxes, and black bears live in this habitat. Skunks, rabbits, and squirrels also live there. Birds, mice, and insects live there too. Question: what animals live in this forest habitat? It says tap on the orange icon below to find out. Raccoon, gray squirrel, red-tailed hawk, deer, red fox, black bear, rabbit, insects, mice, and fungi. It's still a plant. So all of these depend on the forest. Tropical rainforest. The trees in a tropical rainforest grow tall and have huge leaves. It rains almost every day in this habitat. Many kind of animals live in a rainforest. Sloth, birds, and monkeys are some animals that live in the trees. Large animals such as jaguars live on the ground. And then it says, tap on the black dots to go to the next slide. Look at that, boy. He doesn't look too friendly. The jaguar hunts for its food on the ground. He looks like he's ready. I don't think it's McDonald's. Okay. Toucans make their nests in holes in trees. So, and I think that's not, Ms. Park, that's not one of the, okay. The sloth, toucans make their, how are woodland, the sloths eat leaves from trees. They are one of the slowest animals too, by the way. All right. How are woodland forests and rainforests the same? How are they different? All right. Let's take a look a minute. They all have to what there? They have to live there. So let's see what Forrest said. It's a large area of land that is covered with trees and bushes. Well, in tropical forests, they have what as well? Trees as well. Now they may grow taller, they're still a tree. So we could write that down as how they are the same. Now, you could even say a difference is the tropical trees are much taller with great big or huge leaves on it versus the woodland forest. And what, okay, woodland forests get rain and snow, that's true. Now the rainforest, it gets rain every day, just about every day. Every day. And that in itself is amazing. But the animals that all live there do fine. Here is hot and cold deserts. A desert is a large area of land that gets very little rain. Some deserts are hot during the day and cold at night. Foxes, snakes, and hawks are some animals that live in hot deserts. Now, this is the desert. Some deserts are cold all the time. The Arctic is a cold desert near the North Pole. Polar bears, moose, seals, and walruses are some animals that live in the Arctic. Okay. Kits, foxes get most of their water from the animals they eat. Well, they'd have to get it from somewhere where it's so cold. And here are our polar bears hunt for seals under ice in the Arctic. And see, they can survive so well because of their wonderful fur. Here are hot deserts and cold deserts of plants. How are they the same? How are they different? Even though they're in two different areas, they still have flowers, pretty colored ones for that. Okay, grasslands. Grasslands are filled with grasses and wildflowers. Small animals can hide in the grass and shrubs. A lot of plant-eating animals can survive on the grass and leaves of this habitat. This also means that meat-eating animals can hunt for food. So be careful out there. There's the prairie dog and how they live in the tunnels underground. Right, here's the bison, big area of land. He would be, he's so huge. All right, we're going to watch Diversity on Land to explore different plants and animals that live in land habitats.
Look at these land habitats. Which one could a cactus live in? How about a cheetah? Let's look at some habitats and see why they make perfect homes for the plants and animals that live there. In a desert habitat, like this one, there's very little water. Deserts get less than 25 centimeters or 10 inches of rain or snow per year. There are many kinds of cacti in deserts. Cacti are plants that can survive in dry places. Their roots are good at getting water from desert soil. A cactus can store water in its stem to use later. This prickly pear cactus has spines instead of leaves. That helps it save water and protects it from animals that might try to eat it. The cactus is also edible, except for the spines. Here is a saguaro cactus. Each cactus can weigh about 2,000 kilograms or 4,000 pounds. The desert is home to many different animals. Greater roadrunners run fast and use their speed to catch food, like this lizard. This camel can survive several months without a drink of water. A camel's hump is filled with fat. When the camel's body breaks down fat, it gets both energy and water that were stored in the fat. Look at this desert viper moving over the sand. This kind of movement is called sidewinding. This snake buries itself in the sand to stay cool during the hot desert day. It also hides to surprise prey like lizards and small mice. Jackrabbits are nocturnal animals, which means they are most active at night when the temperature is cooler. They eat the plants found in the desert, including cacti. Did you know that not all deserts are hot? Let's travel to an Arctic habitat. The Arctic is a desert because it receives very little rain or snow. Most of the water on the ground is frozen. Look at all the snow and ice. In some areas of the Arctic, temperatures can get down to negative 70 degrees Celsius or negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit. That's really cold. Not many plants or trees can grow in the Arctic. Grasses like tundra grass can survive the cold. Spruce trees grow nearby in slightly warmer temperatures. The animals that live in the Arctic have to survive the cold temperatures. Over here we spot a snowy owl. Snowy owls use their great eyesight and hearing to help them catch rodents, fish, and rabbits. Here's a polar bear. Polar bears have a thick coat of fur to keep them warm, even on their paws. Their fur helps them blend in with the snow and ice, so they're not seen when they stalk prey, such as seals and young walruses. They are also great swimmers. Another animal found in this habitat is the Arctic wolf. Like a polar bear, the Arctic wolf has thick fur, which keeps in heat. Let's look at the grassland habitat. The main plant that grows here is, you guessed it, grass. Different types of grass grow here based on the type of soil, the sunlight, and the time of year. You will also find shrubs and a few trees. The acacia tree can be found in warm grasslands all around the world. The plants in a grassland habitat are food for many animals. This grassland in Africa is a great home for zebras. Giraffes eat the leaves from acacia trees. With their long necks, giraffes are the tallest land animals on the planet. Cheetahs also live on African grasslands, where they have plenty of space to run. Cheetahs can run as fast as a car on a highway to catch their prey. Lions hunt for animals on the grasslands. Hyenas can live on grasslands or in other habitats. They live in groups and work together to hunt animals for food. Hyenas take care of their young cubs until they're old enough to hunt and protect themselves. Here is the final habitat we will visit today: forests. Forests need more water than deserts or grasslands to support all these plants and trees. There are different kinds of forests around the world. Each one has many different plants and animals. Some pine trees can grow very tall. This is an advantage in a forest.
Taller trees get more sunlight. On the lowest levels of a forest, you might find different kinds of mushrooms. Mushrooms get their food from dead plants or animals that are breaking down, like this rotting log. Forests are full of animals, big and small. Take a look at this porcupine. Those sharp quills on its back help protect it from predators. Chipmunks are small rodents that hide underground in burrows they dig on the forest floor. These little animals can dig tunnels 9 meters or 30 feet long. Foxes hide in dens and are most active at night. Look up in that tree. With their sharp claws, black bears are great climbers. Coyotes can be found in forests throughout North America. Coyotes are not picky eaters. Their prey includes rodents, frogs, snakes, insects, and even deer. They will also eat fruit and grass. This woodpecker is called a red-naped sapsucker. It uses its beak to peck a hole in the bark to eat the tree sap. We looked at 4 different land habitats and saw some of the different plants and animals that live there: desert, grassland, Arctic, and forest. Can you think of any other plants or animals that live in these areas?
Well, that was a great video.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay, now we're looking at our last page of this group. It says, explain why some land habitats have more kinds of living things than other land habitats. And Ms. Clark is writing, some land habitats have more room for plants and animals to grow and live. It could do with also the weather. It just depends on a lot of different factors and what food's there. Desert habitats. You have learned that living things live in many different habitats. Compare how animals survive in 2 different desert habitats. Make a prediction. How are animals in hot and cold deserts alike and different? Well, they all have to what? Eat. That's for sure. They all have to go hunting for it. That's for sure. And then it says, explain hot and cold desert habitats in the simulation desert habitat.
So this is the hot desert. So let's make it day. So they're all sleeping. The kangaroo rat is sleeping. Try again at night. So the scorpion is sleeping.
This fox is
sleeping, and the rattlesnake is sleeping. But the owl is a small bird. It lives in a hole in cacti. It looks for food during the day, especially in the evening. Now let's make it night. So at night, the owl is sleeping. Here we've got the fox is now awake. It comes out of the den to hunt only at night. The den protects it from the hot desert sun. The rattlesnake comes out of its home under the ground only at night. In this way, it escapes the heat of the desert sun. The scorpion leaves its hiding spots under rocks and its holes only at night. By living in the shade, it stays away from the hot desert sun. And then the kangaroo rat leaves its home under the ground only at night. Staying under the ground protects it from the heat of the desert. So let's make it day again. Watch. Look, they're all going into their little areas. So it's in the shade, it's in its dens, and then at night it comes out. Now let's go to the cold desert. The cold desert, it's summer right now. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's summer.
Yeah.
The bird's feathers turn brown in the summer to match the color of the ground. This makes it difficult for other animals to see it and hunt it. The fox lives in a den all throughout the year. In summer, its fur changes to brown to match the color of the ground. This makes it easier to hide and catch prey, so very similar. The caribou, also called reindeer, lives in the cold desert only in the summer. It eats grasses and plants. The bumblebee flies from flowers to flower. In the summer, it feeds on pollen and nectar. And then the lemming can live in the cold desert all year round. In summer, it lives in a burrow under the ground near the grass that it likes to eat. Now let's make it winter. Ooh, in the winter, These antlers have been shed by the caribou. Okay, so kind of like how we shed our hair, sometimes our hair falls out. The antlers fall off the caribou, and the caribou has now gone south in search for food. So they're no longer there. The fox lives in a den all throughout the year. In winter, its fur changes to white to match the color of the snow. This makes it easier to hide and catch prey. That is so cool. I did notice that even my dog is not a fox, but my dog's fur turns brown in the summer.
Oh,
See if I can find
really?
her. And I always wondered, like, how come her fur changes colors? And maybe it's an adaptation. Let me try to grab her right now. Let me see.
Is she getting darker?
Let me pin my video. Let's see if you guys can see. Do you guys see how she's a little brown?
Mhm.
Evie, let us see you. She's usually like her belly is white, and so usually she's more white. But in the summer, I noticed that her hair, she's like so annoyed of me right now. Her hair turns brown. Do you guys see that? Yeah, so maybe it's her adaptation during the summer, so we can't find her. Okay, this bird's feathers turn white in the winter to match the color of the snow. This makes it difficult to see other animals to see it and hunt it. The bumblebee sleeps in winter, try again in the summer, and the lemming can live in the cold desert all year round. In winter, it digs a burrow deep under the snow. Awesome. So after you guys have done that, let's really quickly finish this off. So you can find out what animals live in the hot and cold desert. You could write how each animal survives. And then what was similar about the animals that lived in the cold and hot deserts. What were some differences you found? You could have wrote that both habitats had foxes and birds. Some animals in the cold desert changed their coat in the wintertime to blend in with the snow. And then the last question is, what helps a lemming live in the cold desert? A lemming can burrow underground during the winter and survive the cold. So that is it for science. After that, you guys have your reading, you have your PE, you have your writing that you guys can do in your COVID 2019 time capsule, or you could do it under your selfie writing, or you could just do it in a normal journal. And then you have your spelling and vocabulary practice, and then your grammar and mechanics and words to know, which we showed you guys yesterday. So that's it.